I have freaking been on a romance manga high. Honestly, this past month, I have read some top tier freaking manga. And they've all been romances because I'm a romance freaking addict. I mainly speak about shoujo mangas, but today I have 3 shoujo, 3 Josei, and then 2 Seinen. And I have a favourite in each category. 2, that's 4, 2 are absolutely my favourite mangas. I think they're gonna be my favourite mangas of all time. Oh my god, I'm so obsessed with them. There is one trashy romance manga in this, but I mean, I can't stop reading it. I hate that I can't because it's really bad, but I'm toxic like that. I do want to know what happens. But the rest are absolutely chef's kiss. Always a disclaimer, these are all English titles and I've tried to look up the names of each of the Japanese characters, but I do apologise if I pronounce them wrong. I'm going off English translated chapters and volumes as well, so I may get the current state of the manga a bit wrong. So if I get anything wrong, please just comment down below. First up, we've got our shoujo manga recommendations, and we are starting off with an absolute banger. This is the best manga in our shoujo category. I'm freaking obsessed, and I read this thanks to one of you guys. You commented this manga multiple times to see if I've read it yet, and now I have, and I love you because it is Studio Cabana. I love it. I love it so freaking much. So let's get into it. So this is a coming of age story, school life romance with musical aspects of it because it follows a band. There is 7 volumes out. It is ongoing, but it's just come back from a hiatus. So yeah, the updates I think will be pretty slow going forward. It follows our female lead, Yukari, who is a high school student, and she is known for being very diligent. She's a people pleaser, and she does a lot of activities, and people rely on her because she doesn't know how to say no. And this leads to her meeting our male lead. What is his name again? I've got my notes here. Yuusuke, who is a delinquent. He does not go to class. He's a bit of a bad boy. He doesn't really have any friends at school. He keeps himself to himself, and people are pretty scared of him. But one day, our freaking girl stands up to him and is like, why are you slacking? Like, we're all picking up the work and you're not doing anything. And everyone around her is like, oh my god, she can stand up to him. We need to rely on her if we ever need to speak to him. So if ever there's like a piece of homework that needs to be given to him or a task at school, everyone, including teachers, go to her to give it to him. As the story unfolds and she's trying to get closer to him, she finds out that he is a main singer in a band, and she becomes obsessed with the band. She loves their songs. She listens to them on repeat. He's a bit like annoyed that she's found out about it. He doesn't want anyone knowing. So they have this kind of secret alliance of, okay, you can know about the band, but don't tell anyone. And a friendship somewhat forms between them, and they are the complete opposite, obviously, because she's kind of this goody two-shoes, but she's quite forward. She does speak her mind, which I freaking love about her, whereas he is very cold, very unbothered, and he definitely doesn't speak his mind. He is rude and very reactive, but he doesn't really say what's going on in his head, if that makes sense. But you know, our girl fancies the pants off of him from the get-go. Like, she really likes him. There was moments where I thought he liked her, but that's not the case. This is an unrequited love story, and it is painful. Like, painful. This man, my jaw dropped when you find out some other things in this manga. I'm not gonna say because I want it to be a surprise for you guys, but there are some things where I was just like, what on earth? I did not see that coming. But our male lead is going through a lot. It delves deep into themes of like self-reflection, toxic relationships. You witness a lot of character development from our male lead, plus our female lead though. She definitely has a great story arc on her own. Like, it kind of follows them both separately, but then also together as well. That's another thing I love about this manga. And the art style is a chef's kiss. Our male lead, he has made me die with laughter with how like rude he is, and when he finally lets slip some of his feelings and emotions. Like, his little face is hilarious. Within the band, you have some people you freaking hate. You know who I'm talking about if you've read this manga. I freaking hate that person. Every time she pops up, I'm like, get out of here. But then we do have a band member who is quite a few years older, and he sees our male lead as a brother, like a younger brother, and he really looks out for him, tries to make him go to school and go to class, etc. And I love his character so freaking much. Please read this. It is amazing. Then we have, what is it called? I Am Now in Love. This is by the same author as, oh my god, what was it? Shy Girl, Black Wolf? Black Prince? Why am I forgetting this? Wolf Girl and Black Prince. Anywho, it is the same author as that manga, and if you know me and if you've watched my videos, you know I do not like that manga. But this author did an Uno reverse, and this manga is so unproblematic. It's crazy. It's like she took the backlash from Wolf Girl and Black Prince and made this cute, wholesome, unproblematic romance, because that's what it freaking is. It is set in school, it's a slice of life and a comedy. I really am enjoying it. It has 9 volumes, it's completed, and I've just started volume 6. The story follows our high school female lead, Satomi, who is on her way to school, and this girl is about to be inappropriately touched. There's a creep around her, and then she gets saved by our male lead. What is his name? Why am I forgetting names today? Kasuma. This guy saves her. He is proper hero-like, and she ends up finding out that he's a year above her in her school, and our girl insta falls for him. She's really nervous and happy around him and ends up telling him pretty much straight away, and our guy is like, yeah, sure, let's go out, but his feelings definitely grow as they're together. Oh, it is adorable, and this couple can communicate. This is what I'm talking about here. It's completely different from Wolf Girl and Black Prince. Like, they get jealous, but then they tell each other, like, oh, I'm feeling a bit jealous in this situation. And it's not like you have to change how you're behaving. It's not like that at all. They just speak to each other. But the thing is, I wouldn't say it's the most exciting manga because there is not much drama. Like, there is another guy that comes into the picture, but again, you know he doesn't really stand a chance. So it's not like there's crazy drama going on. However, if you want to see a cute, healthy relationship in a school life romance manga, you need to read this, because this was chef's kiss for that genre. And who is our 2 other characters? So we've got Noda, who is the male lead's best friend, and he kind of hates girls, doesn't really see the point in like relationships. He has a really bad guy look. The later volumes will follow him and then the other girl called Miria, and she's a really popular, like typical cute girl. She really, really likes him, but he kind of doesn't have a clue, I don't think. So I'm excited to see how their story progresses. It will be a bit more drama filled, and they're very, very different from Satomi and Kazuma. So it kind of feels like a different manga in a way. But yeah, can't wait to finish that. Oh my goodness. Okay, then we have the only bad manga recommendation in the video, and I apologize. I apologize for this poor taste, but here we go. Because this is really, really no plot to this manga. It's problematic. The characters are toxic, but I can't get enough of it. I want to know what happens. And it is I Can Only Love You, You Trash. But that is not an official English translated name. I had to use Google Translate. So this is the Japanese title, and it is a school life romance. It has 4 volumes. It's completed, but I'm up to date with the English translated versions, and I'm only on volume 2. So I'm waiting for updates now. I don't even know how to explain the plot of this. So I'm gonna try and explain it and then just bitch about it for a little bit and see if you'll be interested in reading it. So this follows Sae, who is a high school student who has been dating our bad boy character, Shun. And this guy is selfish. He's rude, he's problematic. He loves to tease her and make her feel insecure. Like, this is what I mean. This is a bad manga, and he is a red flag. No green flag sprinkles in there at all. But she is completely in love with him, and it just follows them. And I'm serious, that is it. There's nothing else to this manga except the fact that she really likes him. You think he likes her, but you don't really know because he's treating her like absolute crap. And it's about them navigating their relationship. Like, in the first freaking chapter, it starts with him speaking to a bunch of girls, and the girls are like, oh, come out with us, like, come to this mixer, we really want to talk to you and get to know you. He looks at her and is like, yeah, I might come actually. She's feeling like crap, being like, oh my God, my boyfriend is hanging out with other girls. He's not showing me any love. Does he really like me? So she decides to go to her own mixer, and then a guy tries to advance on her. She freaks out. She then shouts his name, Shun. He pops out of nowhere like a freaking genie and then gets the other guy away. And then they have like a moment of like, oh, see, like, you did come for me, and him being like, why did you come to this mixer? Blah, 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 and then they kiss. It's so freaking dumb. And I felt bad for our female lead at the start, and now I don't. I think she's as bad as him because she knows what he's like and she loves it. I think she loves this chase. She likes the bad guy tendency in him. Oh, it's just so rubbish. But I cannot stop reading it. Like, I really want to know how it's going to unfold, like what's going to happen between those two. They have such weird, awkward moment in school as well, like trying to give each other hickeys. Oh my God. I'm embarrassed that it's in this video, but it's what I'm reading right now and I have to be truthful to you. Okay, now we're getting on to our Josei recommendations. These are phenomenal. Like, I was fed well this month. First one that we're going to speak about today is going to be an all-time favorite manga of mine. Oh my goodness, I have cried so much reading this manga. I cried in every single volumes. There is 12. And this is a slice of life romance drama. It's completed, and I have completed it. Like, I binged this series in a couple of days. I could not put it down. Oh. So let's get into our amazing couple. So we have our female lead, Tsukumi, who is a 26-year-old interior designer. And what happens on a regular basis is that her interior designer company link up with architecture firms. So they will do the architecture and then she will come in and do the interior design. And at one of these like work meets before a project starts between these two companies, she sees her first ever crush from high school, Itsuki, and they have not seen each other since school. And now they find out they're going to be working together. Throughout the whole meal, they're chatting to each other. She's getting the heart flutters because she's like, it's my first crush. He looks really good, because they're both 26 now. Like, it's been a massive time jump since they last saw each other. And she definitely wants to know more about him. But as he goes to leave the restaurant, he leaves in a wheelchair, and she finds out that he suffered a really bad accident just after high school and he is now disabled and can't walk. So instantly she's very torn. She has a lot of people around her getting in her head, and she's like, I really like him, but can I date someone who is in a wheelchair? And as she gets to know him more and work with him, her feelings quickly change, and she definitely wants to be in a relationship with him. And it follows these two. And when I tell you, this will break your heart. You will be broken. Like, every single freaking volume, I was like, finally, we're gonna get to a really lovely moment and we're not gonna get any more sad moments. No. Till the last volume, people, you will have sad moments. It's heartbreaking, but so touching. It is a beautiful story about how disabled people deserve to have a normal life, and they deserve love like everybody else. They deserve accessibility in the world, and it touches on these really, really heartbreaking and tough topics, but in such a beautiful way. And it brings awareness to disability and accessibility very well. It's just so emotional. Itsuki really goes through it in this manga because he can't walk anymore. He was so popular when he was at school. He was on the basketball team. He had a lot of big visions, but he always wanted to be in architecture, and he held on to that dream and became an architect. But in doing that, he was like, I don't want anything else out of life. I don't want relationships. I'm never gonna have a relationship. I'm never gonna love someone. No one's ever gonna love me, and I'm never gonna have a family of my own. And I feel like I'm getting emotional even talking about it, but he really is going through a lot mentally, obviously, and physically. And it goes into so much with his feelings and him going through the disability. But then it also touches on the partner, the person that is with someone that's disabled and what they go through, whether it's selfish feelings, non-selfish, the struggles, etc. And the push and pull these people have. Oh, it's just very touching. Please read it, please. And if you've read this manga, I really want to speak to you because I want to speak to someone about this manga so freaking much. It hurts. So read it. On to our next absolute banger. And this one has been a firecracker in my comment sections. I've talked about it before in my videos that I want to read it. And I have started, my friends. And it is Firefly Wedding. I have to quickly say this, I'm scared because of the first chapter. How this story starts, it makes the whole story nervous to me because it kind of has a time jump to a moment later on in a person's life. And then it basically comes back to the present day and you then follow the story, I'm assuming up until that first chapter moment. So I can't stop thinking about it. But this is a historical romance. It's very psychological. It's branded as mature because, yeah, it deals with an assassin. So there's a lot of murder in this and morally grey characters. Cough, cough, our male lead is a freaking psychopath. It has 5 volumes, it's ongoing, and I'm on chapter 26, so I'm assuming that's volume 3, but I'm not 100% sure. And we are set in the Meiji era. I'll pop the name of that on the screen in case I'm pronouncing that wrong. So it's not set present day, and our story follows Satoko. Her family are very well known. She's high up. She's not a royal, but it's a very respectable family. But she has a really bad heart. And when she was young, they were like, you're not gonna live very long. Against all odds, she has not died yet. So she's feeling like she's living on borrowed time. But then one day she gets kidnapped and this assassin has been paid to kill her. She's like, crap, what can I do to get out of this? What can I offer him? So what she does is offer herself. She's like, I will marry you. I'm from a really respectable family, so if I marry you, will you not kill me? And he ends up being like, yeah, okay. And it's about their love story. I'm laughing because it's somewhat problematic because I haven't even said our male lead's name. He's called Shinpei, sorry. And he is a crazy, very skilled killer. These two would never have met in any other world because they're complete opposites, but they're somehow cute, man. And our guy Shinpei, the best way I can describe him is the greenest red flag you will ever read, because this man is a walking, talking red flag. He's a nutter, but he's a green flag nutter because he can communicate. He also really cares about our female lead. He wants to protect her at all costs. Some chapters I freaking forget he's a psychotic murderer because it's such a sweet chapter. Then the next chapter, he is back to his old ways and you're like, whoa, how did I even forget that he's actually crazy? Our female lead is adorable. I love her and I like her strength and how she grows. And I'm not gonna lie, she's a bit crazy herself. Some of the things that she ends up doing in this manga are somewhat on the crazy side, and she's just fighting for her life and survival though. So it feels more acceptable and you understand her character a lot more than you understand him, because I don't understand him. I hope that we get more into his backstory, we get a bit more character development from him. We are getting that, but it is a bit slow. And his character development kind of goes one step forward, two steps back. Like you think he's progressing and becoming actually decent and he's listening to the female lead. And then he ends up jumping way back. One of the things that I love about this manga is the art style. It's freaking hilarious. I'm not exaggerating, like I actually cried to the point of a tear coming out of my eye. Mainly to do with him and his facial expressions. Oh my goodness. Anywho, definitely read this. It's phenomenal. And I want to know what people think of the female lead and the male lead. Do you like the male lead? Because I do. Then we have Wotakoi, Love is Hard for an Otaku. This is so funny. It's cute and it's not psycho like the other one, and it's not crushing and heartbreaking but beautiful as the first one. This is the funny one. It's kind of a workplace romance because the characters all work together and it is sometimes set at work, but a lot of the chapters are not set in a work setting, so I don't really know if it would come under workplace romance. It is a slice of life comedy romance. That's what I would really brand it as. It has 11 volumes, it's completed. I'm on chapter 11, so I think that's probably volume 2. The one thing I have to say about this manga is it's not like the traditional mangas out there. Every single chapter reads like a one-shot, like a short story, and it doesn't feel linear, like, oh, tomorrow, and we're following the characters like very closely. It's more like each chapter has its own event, has its own theme and learning curve, etc. So that was a new experience for me. And at the start I was like, oh, I don't know if I quite like this, but I pushed through, and after 5 chapters I loved it. Characters are very clumsy and wacky. Let's get into the actual plot of this manga, and we follow Narumi, who is a secret otaku. And if you don't know what an otaku is, it's someone who is kind of obsessed with like games or mangas, TV shows, like they're into cosplay, like writing mangas, playing video games, etc. Like there's loads of things that come under this category, but it's kind of their personality, and it takes over their life to the fact that they don't really socialize much. And she's a secret one of these, but she really wants to have a boyfriend, so that's why she keeps it secret, because people kind of think otakus are weird. One day she's at work and she passes her childhood friend who is also an otaku, and she wants to make sure that he doesn't tell anyone that she's an otaku, and he is called Hirotaka. And from the get-go he's like, yeah, sure, I don't care, I'll keep it a secret. But instead of keeping it a secret, how about we pretend to date to keep her secret at work under wraps? And so they start going out, and obviously they just end up growing to like each other, etc. He's so blasé, he's the cold, like unemotional character, but I think he's quite sweet underneath all of it. He does care about Narumi a lot, but it takes time for that to really blossom and show within the manga. But yeah, I felt like the whole setup and plot of why those two started dating was a bit flawed, but who cares? It's still a really good manga, and she has a best friend at work and he has a best friend at work, and you find out pretty much straight away that their best friends are in a relationship and they've been going out since university, and they're also otakus. What I love about this story is that each of them are like a different level otaku. So some are more extreme and really into it and into cosplay than others who just like some aspects of it. And it makes the dynamic of the group very funny and interesting. Hirotaka is hot as hell, and I don't usually like smokers, but he is really, really hot when he smokes, and he has glasses. I mean, I am a sucker for manga characters that wear glasses, because male main leads rarely wear them. Really rarely wear them. What am I saying here? Really rarely wear them. at the moment, I'm more obsessed with the best friends relationship. They're so funny. They're very opposites attract, and I just love them. They're hilarious to me. And I'm growing to like Narumi and Hirotaka slowly as the chapters go on. It's very cute. Then we have our last Josei recommendation, Ice Guy and the Cool Female Colleague. Fluffy, adorable, wholesome as F. Like, I love it. This is an office romance, slice of life, supernatural comedy. But again, it's really similar to Love is Hard for an Otaku in the sense that each chapter is like a one-shot. And it follows our male lead, what is he called again? Himuro. And he is a descendant of a Yuki owner. And what that is, in my short research, is they are like snow... What are they again? I'm gonna look it up because I've forgotten already. Brilliant. It is a kind of frost spirit and it's part of Japanese mythology that usually appears as a beautiful woman in a white robe and long black hair. In some stories, the Yuki owner is good and helps people in the mountains. In other stories, she is evil and freezes people. Okay, so when he's working, his emotions affect his environment. So when he's sad, there's like a snowstorm, or when he's really happy, little snowmen pop up. If he's concentrating and is a bit stressed out, like an igloo goes around him, so he's enclosed, and everyone around him knows. So like, it's not like a hidden identity. Everyone knows who he is and what his emotions do to his environment, which adds a lot of comedy to the story. And he has a freaking soft spot. He fancies the pants off of our female lead, Yuusuke, who is a calm, she's more of the cold looking female character, and she always seems quite unbothered by things. Like, she doesn't have big reactions like you get in most romance mangas, mainly shoujo mangas, so maybe that's why it's quite a big of a difference. But she doesn't have much emotion, but she does a lot and says a lot with her actions. For example, he really loves plants, but when he touches plants, they die, like, 'cause they get really cold or they freeze. So she gives him like this soil that helps plants survive in the cold. And she is constantly doing that throughout the manga, giving him little solutions to his problems. And it just follows their love story. It's very unproblematic. Some people might find this boring. I can tell why some people might. I'm shocked it's got 10 volumes, in all honesty. Like, it's got 10 volumes, it's ongoing. I'm on chapter 13, and I'm assuming that's probably around volume 2. You know from the get-go they both like each other, but they don't know how to express it, so they just do really cute gestures to one another. And it just, every single chapter is a little cute peek into their cute and fluffy relationship. I would recommend this if you want an easy reading romance manga. Now, finally, we are at the Seinen category. I think it's gonna be my new favorite manga. I thought Perfect World was, then I started reading this manga. And I'm only at volume 3, and I'm feeling once I get to volume 8, this will be my new favorite. And that is Sweat and Soap. This is an office place romance comedy, and it's branded as smut and mature, but the smut scenes are not smutty, in my opinion. Like, it's more outlines, it's not graphic. There are like intimate moments, but it's done very respectfully in my eyes. And it has 11 volumes, it's completed, and yeah, I'm on volume 3. And this story follows Asaku, who is working at this soap making company, and that is a dream job for her because she really suffers from excessive sweating, and it's very much hindered her life. Like, at school she got bullied because she smelt a lot and she sweats so freaking much, and the only thing that can help her is the Lilla Drop soap, which is the company that she works for. And she works in the finance department and she gets a discount on the soap, so she's like, this is the dream. But then one day the product developer of this company smells her. I have to laugh because it does sound really creepy and crazy, but hear me out until the end of this explanation, but he sniffs her out and is like, you smell amazing. I need to study your smell because it's gonna help me with the next product launch. And they end up being in this agreement where he sniffs her every day for a week. And it's not like, it's like proper like hound dog sniffing. And she obviously gets really embarrassed by it, but she just kind of goes along with it. He's known as this celebrity at work, big shot, who makes amazing products, and she is the quiet finance girl, and she really does keep herself to herself. So you could say it's a bit of opposites attract, but as you spend more time with them, they're very similar. And I love how obsessed they both are with each other. It's not a push and pull, I love you more, and that friction in the relationship at the start. It's not like that. Oh my goodness, it's so cute. Right, it sounds creepy, but this is the sweetest, most wholesome story you will ever read. This couple is the definition of healthy, respectful communication. Like, oh my goodness, the way these two communicate is freaking chef's kiss. Kotaro always knows when something is up with her, mainly because he can smell. Like, her smells change depending on her mood. So when she's sad, when she's aroused, when she's happy, when she's confused, etc., he can smell it on her. So sometimes she doesn't say how she's feeling. He knows that she's sad, and he is like, talk to me. I feel uneasy that you're sad and I want to know what I can do to help you. Like, this is what I mean by healthy communication. It's refreshing as hell to have a male lead that genuinely cares. Oh, I just love them, and I can't wait to see where the relationship goes. Again, this is an hilarious romance manga. I have laughed so much. I love the male lead's facial expressions, but also I will say, if you start reading this manga, look out for the small touches and little things that our female lead does. Like, she struggles to communicate sometimes and put into words how she's feeling, but she does try, but she does a lot of it through little touches. Like, she will hold his hand and squeeze it when she's about to say something that she's worried about saying, and the manga does that very well. And I only noticed that because someone commented to look out for that, and I did, and it made the manga even better. So I was like, I'll pass on the information to you guys. And that is all of the romance mangas I've been reading right now. So I hope you pick one of these up. Let me know if you're gonna start reading them. Also, I take your recommendations seriously. Shoujo Cabana, honestly, I trust you guys through and through. So if you have any more recommendations, pop them down below. Anywho, I'm gonna leave you guys here. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye guys.